Hello everybody and welcome back to SkySaga Alpha 8! We are over here with ARMYBR4T on his amazing home island, and it is time for another build inspiration video. How's it going, ARMYBR4T?
Doing very well, thank you. Just got finished doing some more roofing, but I'm loving the hype about my build. I can't believe how many people love it, and thank you very much for contacting me. I know it's been about a month since you originally contacted me, but things have just gotten out of hand, and finally I'm back up again and building, and finally we're here talking about it, and I'm so happy that you've contacted me earlier.
Yeah, and that's cool. And I mean, you've also been obviously doing a fair amount of work in the time while we've been talking about doing this. So it's kind of nice to come along and see this a little bit more finished than it would have been a month ago. So that is really cool. All right, so I'm going to get out of my F12 mode. We're going to have a bit of a look around here. Now, there is a lot to take in this build, and it is absolutely amazing. Personally, I love this thing. First, we're going to have a quick look at the mini-map because this thing is awesome. And this is all down to ARMYBR4T's view on building symmetrically. So what kind of kickstarted this idea, and like how have you gone about crafting this amazing mini-map?
Well, it all started off with this one little X-shaped stand on the standing stone keystone portal, and it all sort of just it just grew from there. I honestly had no idea it would turn out to be this. Honestly, I had no plans at all. I just make it up as I go along. I make one thing, and it's like, oh wait, no, that didn't look right. So I'll demolish it and start again, and then eventually it just slowly grew up, and then it just formed this on top. It all started with the diagonal shape of the stairs. That's kind of what it's built around, because as you can see, the only stair shapes I've got is diagonal. That's just the way I like building, and that's what I took from my previous build back in Trove, which I'm pretty sure I show you a video of. In which case, yeah, that's pretty much how it just sort of became, just off these diagonal shaped stones of the stairs going all the way up.
Yeah, and these staircases look really, really cool, especially when they're covered in snow like this, because you've kind of got the sides of the stairs that are the colors of the stone that you're using, and then when you actually look at this thing from the top, it kind of blends into the background a little bit, which gives a really cool effect.
I do love the snow. It is amazing. I was kind of wanting a lighter build overall. I'm currently working to get some of the color back, as you can see with the roofing on some of these areas, but it will just take some time. I'm pretty sure I'm going to make some sort of tunnel effect as well for the stairs going diagonal. However, it's going to be a little bit more tricky, seeing that it's completely diagonal and it goes sort of up as well. So eventually I'll figure out an idea how to sort that out. But yes, you are right. I love the snow, but eventually I will cover it all up with roofing in relation to the pathways, but it will still be nice and open, lovely and airy, and overall nice and colourful as well.
Yeah, well, the color scheme that you've gone for here is really, really working well. I love the fact that you've got like a very minimal color palette. You've got like 3 colors, and you're just using those things really, really well, and just kind of sticking to that.
Yeah. This is essentially the 3 things that I started with when I actually first started in Alpha 7. Crackstone was the original material in the game, and I wanted it white and black because they're the 2 favorite colors I love building with. But essentially, I will be adding more colors, but not in relation to blocks. It'll be decoration items and lighting. They'll be the additional colors that I'm going to go with. I'm not entirely sure I'm going to go with red, blue, or green, but it'll be probably one of the 3, and then they'll essentially just sort of make nice little accents throughout for lighting and overall decorations and stuff like that.
Yeah, very nice indeed. And yeah, I like your little roofing stuff up here. Obviously, the snow was an addition in Alpha 8, wasn't it?
I don't know if it's an addition or if it was essentially just reset on my build, but I'm pretty sure it was a complete addition, because I would have thought it would have been covered in snow during Alpha 7 as well. But I don't remember seeing it in the notes anywhere, but it must have been an addition, I don't know.
Yeah, I think that sometimes some of the patch notes cover just the major topics, and some of the other stuff kind of gets added in, and it's kind of a surprise for us to go through and find. Oh wow! So
yeah.
This kind of staircase area up here is really cool. I love the combinations of up and down staircases and how you've done this. Is there any plans for what's going on up in here?
And this is actually going to be the ground slash first level. This is essentially going to be the garden area. I'm going to have essentially different colors of grass, loads of levels of trees, eventually water when they bring that into the game. I can't wait for water. I may use ether stone to begin with just to sort of get the color palette going, but I'm not sure if I will or won't do that. And then just really cool lighting throughout as well. This isn't going to be open either. The actual bottom part of the island is going to be sort of pyramided down to cover the entire bottom basement garden area. So that'll be sealed. And then it will just be internal sort of lighting that's going to light it all up and get it all coloured. And eventually I'll start building up from there as well.
Very nice. One quick thing too is that a lot of builds that I've seen recently have been using the cyan sand, I think, to give a nice kind of water effect. So if you're thinking about throwing water into the build, it's probably a good place to start, is to try out some cyan sand and see what happens with that.
Ah, cool. Not seen that, but yeah, I'll definitely give that a look, yeah.
I think it's kind of Ashwee and a few other builders have been using it pretty recently, so...
Ah, cool.
Yeah, so...
Whereabouts did you get that cyan sand? Is it from a particular dungeon or particular world or particular biome? Or...
pretty sure that there is a desert biome color palette that actually has the cyan sand.
Got ya. I'll look for that later. Thank you very much for that.
Not a problem. And yeah, this top section up here is looking really cool. You've got these nice kind of 8 pillars around the outside. Is there any plans to kind of go higher with this, or is this going to be the top of the build?
No, there's I'm hoping to get another 5 levels, currently the same shape and size upwards. I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to go directly straight up or if I'm going to sort of shrink it as it goes up to make a kind of castle pyramid sort of tower. I'm not sure, but these pillars, I haven't decided if they're going to stay this shape. I'm going to build something on it, like say a dragon schematic on top of each one with a foot of the dragon on each side of the pillar, and then just make 4 big dragons on the corners. Or if I'm going to somehow incorporate the pillars themselves as kind of foundation stilts or like foundation pillars of the actual main build. I haven't really completely thought about which way it's going to go around, but I do know that if I make it and I don't like it, I'm just going to end up destroying it and starting from scratch. So I will make sure it looks amazing, and I'll make sure that I make the right choice in the end.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's the great thing about building in a voxel game, is that you can always kind of go through and take something down if you don't like it and tweak it. Personally, I love the dragon idea. I'd love to see like dragons holding up the next section, or like 2 layers up, if that makes sense. You got like a bigger layer, 2 layers up.
Yeah,
and got, like,
definitely. That sounds cool.
Yeah, I mean, obviously that
sort of incorporate both ideas.
Yeah, that would take a fair amount of building skill, probably more building skill than I have. But if you could pull that off, that would be absolutely amazing.
Yeah, I could even mess around in one of those voxel editors. I think I used Magic of Voxel last time back in Trove days, and I might use that again to see if I can get that working before I sort of start it all off from scratch. But yeah, that sounds cool. I like that idea. Might have a look into that.
Yeah, very nice. So, Magic of Voxel, what's that? You use that? Have you used that for this build, or have you only used that for previous builds?
I've only used that for previous. This one was completely from scratch. The Trove one, I used to play with a guy called Kathav. He actually was very good at Magic of Voxel. It's a kind of like a voxel editor. You can essentially build whatever you like with blocks and color them and shape them, and you have different tools to make different shapes. And essentially, you can build one massive build in a small little program outside of the game to get a schematic going before you actually know, okay, I like that, I'm going to build that in the game now. And then you go out and build it.
Wow, yeah, that sounds like it's a really good tool for people who are just kind of starting up building and they're not sure, you know, how they're going to go about it, or if they don't have enough materials to put something together. That sounds like a good little tip to use.
Yeah. It definitely saves a lot of time as well, because if you don't want to sort of spend 3-4 hours building something, say, this big in the game, and you wasn't really sure how it was going to go or look, Magic of Voxel can help that.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a really cool tip. So you're saying before you're going to put some decor items around. What type of decor items do you think are you going to put around the place?
Right now, as you can see, the pillars themselves are quite sort of basic shaped. They've got the
Hmm.
cool little effect, but I'm going to use some of the pillar decoration items that have the metal incorporated, so it's kind of like shiny throughout these pillars. I'm going to put loads of tapestries, banners, carpets throughout the interior of buildings. This is only going to be the main building as well, because each of these little islands that I've left, I'm hopefully going to build some kind of little building on them, as well as also the bottom level area will actually eventually have some kind of market, or it may have a low market in the bottom, and then a sort of a high market in the main sort of tower area once that's finished. But essentially, decorations, it's not something I've majorly looked into right now because I haven't got all the recipes and I don't exactly know what is available right now in the game in total. But with the addition of dust into the game, it's kind of difficult to actually make anything of large scale. So I may wait to see if they change anything for Alpha 9, and then I may look into decorations more. But they're the basic ideas that I'm thinking of decorations itself. But other than decorations itself, most likely lighting. Lighting is definitely something that's going to add color to my build. Blue, green, maybe even red. I'm not sure which palette I'm going to go with right now, or maybe a combination of a couple. But overall, it's mainly the shell I'm working on right now, getting the basic shape, and then it's going to be sort of growing out from there with the decorations later.
Right, yeah, cool. Sounds good. And yeah, I can see where you're coming from with the dust. A build like this, you'd be needing 200 plus of any item you decide to put down. So if you decide to
Yeah,
put down something with dust in it, that's kind of going to cripple you a little bit.
most definitely, most definitely. So I've got my fingers crossed, my toes crossed, I've got everything crossed, man, just to make sure they change it to make it a bit easier for the big build in Alpha 9.
Hmm. But the good thing about this place is that it is saved. It was saved between Alpha 7 and Alpha 8, which means it is going to be saved as far through as the devs can actually get it to be saved through. They have mentioned that in some cases it may not be possible, but they are going to try and save them as far through as they possibly can. So hopefully this thing will stick around all the way through to beta and full release if they can make it that far.
I really hope it's possible. I mean, it's a really cool world. I've been loving building it. But if it happens, it's just the way that it is. I mean, it's something that you signed up for when you played the game to begin with, and I knew that. But I want to try and get as much done as possible before it gets lost, if it does. But it's just the way that it is with alpha games. If you don't want to lose it, don't play during alpha. Come later on when it's completely done. If you want to start building then. But yeah, it's just something I've always known. In which case, it's something I've always gotten ready just in case it does happen. But I don't mind. It's okay. I'll just start building something else even more amazing.
Yeah, I mean that's the other thing too, is there's a lot to be said about the skills and techniques that you learn by playing a game in alpha. So even though, like, even if this thing got wiped, you know the color patterns and you know the symmetry and stuff that makes a build like this look really, really good. So you've got all of that knowledge under your belt, and it's easier to start again on a big build.
Yeah, that is definitely true. Yeah, I have learned so much about these sort of building aspects of SkySaga and all the new items that actually sort of made me come into Alpha 8 with the sort of the goggles, the Mask of True Sight or something like that. I think that's what they're called,
Hmm.
and then also the Greaves of Solid Ground. The
They're
Greaves of Solid
called,
Ground.
I think they're
Sorry.
called block runner boots these days. They keep changing
Oh, are they?
names on us.
Oh,
Yeah,
right. Oh, right. Okay, block runner boots. Okay.
yeah.
Well, those actual ones I've actually started doing, and in which case they've actually I've only started using them halfway through the build itself. In which case this actually only started going around that much. So in relation to the block runner boots, I'll know exactly how to use those straight away when if I do have to start all over again. In which case it'll probably get done a lot quicker than I have done this time.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. I mean, those boots really do help out with huge builds like this because they're just really allow you to place down a lot of blocks very, very quickly. So,
Definitely, definitely, they most definitely do that.
hmm. Yeah, so this is amazing. I'm sorry, I'm just kind of standing here looking at the map again because I personally think that while the size and scale of this build is awesome, the look on the map is just incredible. And I think it's that detail that you put in and the time you've spent making sure this whole thing is symmetrical and really nice looking. Even, on the top where there's snow covering that entire section, you've still kind of put your patterning into all of it, and it just looks amazing on the minimap.
Yeah, it's something that's always helps with this kind of thing. When you do symmetrical, you essentially just copy the sort of pathway, if you like. So essentially, how the top bit started out. As you can see, the stairs on the right, on the far right corners, all corners on the edges.
Hmm.
They're just stairways from going from the bottom level to the corners of that sort of strange bow-looking stairway at the very far corners, and then it goes straight back up again, the exact same pathway upwards. And it actually made a sort of X shape, as you can see, the main middle white X shape in the center. And
Right,
then
yeah.
from there, I just used the same kind of parallel lining on the other side. So it just sort of made itself in a way, just because of the way that I built the stairs. It's all about the stairs. The stairs essentially is the backbone of this entire build. It's how it's made it the way that it looks, because that's how I've built it around. I've built it around these diagonal shapes, these strange looking diagonal shapes. But when it's something so big, it actually makes it look really cool patternated, and it just makes it really cool and symmetrical on there. And then same thing with the green sort of hexagonal or
Mm,
octagonal sort of island around. I'm loving that. I can't believe I actually made that, to be quite honest, because it looks really difficult to make, but
it does, yeah.
it just somehow made itself again, just because I was just doing the same thing. I was adding 2 blocks to begin with on every single bit, and then eventually I did another 5, and it eventually just made itself. It just came into this cool octagonal looking shape, and it was really cool.
Yeah, no, that actually works really well. That I'm very amazed that kind of just sprung from nowhere. If I wanted to try and build a shape like that, I'd have to find a shape generator or something online somewhere to get that type of shape going on. So yeah, that's really cool. And yeah, these stairs are awesome. It's something that not a lot of people would actually have tried to play around with, is having kind of a diagonal set of stairs like this. So kind of seeing these things and seeing how well they've been incorporated into this build is absolutely amazing. And it shows that, stairs don't have to be just kind of a nice set of two-dimensional stairs, I guess, because these are kind of sort of three-dimensional with the diagonal shape that's going on with them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, and these corners were one of the difficult bits, because I wasn't entirely sure how to make it go further up without just doing some really weird, crooked, strange looking turn or corner.
mhm.
So these bows also made themselves, and these aren't going to be open either. This is actually going to have some cool looking temple kind of ruin area around it, in which case it's going to be covered. I'm going to get the color back as well, and then underneath, as you can see, there's some green grass as well that's covered in snow. That'll
Yep.
eventually come back out again, get a nice green back again, and I might even extend it further out to make it a cool looking shape as well. So eventually, it will definitely progress from here, and it will definitely get all the color back, and the snow will make a cool effect on the roofs and stuff like that.
Hmm.
But the color interior everywhere else is going to come back, and it's going to pop, and it's just going to make amazing look. And I'm really loving the roofing as well, because it's essentially the snow biome effect that's made me have to get the roofing. Otherwise, it would have just been flat pathways for you guys to look at right now, which is not always cool. So I'm loving the roofing as well. So I'm loving the snow biome just because of that. It's made me have to think, oh wait a minute, I need roofing on there. Let me get the roofing sorted out so I get the color back. It's really cool.
Yeah, that's actually worked out really well for you, hasn't it? Because these roof sections, like you said, they do look really good, and I think they do add just like an extra little bit to the build, which is really cool. So,
Yeah,
so
and
you're
I've
gonna keep,
honestly started. Sorry, what's that?
so you're gonna keep the grass on the insides as well, down and through here.
Yeah. The grass is going to stay most likely. I'm actually going to start doing the grass on top, as you can see right now on the side of the mini map. Some of them actually have the wood showing, and on the other side they have the grass showing. That's because I put grass. I've only just run out of grass. The grass is actually going to cover on the top, because I'm most likely going to do another second level of stairs and pathways on top of the roofing, and I'm going
Right.
to
Okay.
make sort of buildings sort of along the actual edges. So there's going to be buildings throughout the entire place. It's going to be essentially like a nice city, town, village with a central command slash kingdom sort of castle spire tower. That's what I'm essentially what I'm looking to get eventually, and I really hope I get enough time to build it and get actually visualize it. But I only have basic ideas about what it's going to end up becoming, but honestly, even I don't know how it's going to end up looking. But I just hope I get enough time to try and figure out what it will eventually be.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's a great start, and it is an amazing build already. So, hearing the stuff that you're planning on doing with this, I am really keen to keep coming back here and keep checking in with you and seeing how all this stuff is going, because I'd love to see, the full tower on top of this thing and, little extra bits going on here, there, and everywhere. So, it's an awesome build already, like I said.
Yeah. It's the same that I found throughout, and I was amazed about how much support I got through the Twitter vote as well. It was amazing, and it's really has motivated me to make sure this place does get at least, even if I don't get enough time to fully finish it, at least I'll show people how it was going to end up becoming, and that's what I really want to show. I want to show them that they didn't waste their vote. I wanted to show them that they picked a good one to actually save through, and I wasn't just going to say, okay, that's it, I'm done now, I saved it, and I'm going to slowly go through. I'm not going to be doing that. I'm going to make sure that this place does get at least, well, I want it to be completely finished, but I want to make sure that people see how awesome it's going to end up being.
Oh yeah, and I'm sure it's going to be amazing when you keep going and keep adding stuff to this place. So yeah, so thanks for showing us around. This is your ice home number 2. So if you are currently in playing SkySaga, check this out. This is public right now, yeah?
Yeah, it is also public. Yeah, completely public. So you guys can walk around and have a look around. And pretty much every area is walkable. Yes, it is, yeah. I've got all the stairs on the inside as well. You can't get to the top of the roof of the tower yet, but don't worry, that'll come eventually. But yeah, you can pretty much walk throughout as well.
Awesome. So yeah, this is going to be really good to see, like I said, as you keep going on through. So yeah, everybody should come over here and check this place out, because the size and scale of this thing really doesn't quite come across correctly on footage. So it's so much better to come in here and have a look and have a walk around this thing yourself and actually get a full sense of the enormity of this build, because it is massive. It really is just absolutely massive.
And if you see me here building, just say hi, and I'm sure I'll show you around and see what's going on.
Cool. All right. Well, yeah. Thanks again for showing this. I should also mention that ARMYBR has a Twitch and a YouTube channel and Twitter and all of that kind of stuff. So if you're interested in kind of keeping tabs on this build and seeing how all of that goes, I'll put links to all of that stuff down in the description. So you should go down there and give him a follow on whichever service you like the best. And I'm sure he'll be posting more and more about this build as it grows and becomes even more impressive than it already is.
Yep, I've got another video planned in the next week or 2. I've just getting the footage ready and getting it to a particular area, so I can do another milestone kind of recording time-lapse video for the next bit. Yeah, definitely doing that.
Awesome. I'm gonna go and sub so that I can watch that when that comes out. That's gonna be amazing.
Yeah, I'm sure you guys like it, and I also hear good things about people loving the music that I choose as well, so I'm loving that as well.
Awesome. All right, well, thanks again, man. This has been absolutely magical, and for everybody else, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you guys have enjoyed that, and I will see you in the next video.
Hope you guys enjoyed SkySaga, guys, and I can't wait to see you in game. Have a good one.